What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Accelerate Your Life podcast. I am your host, Mallory Marks, and I am excited to have you here for, I guess, a kind of a special edition episode. Just one that's coming out on our not typical podcast day. And that was because I really wanted to make sure I stuck in here a episode to equip you with for Thanksgiving, right? Going into a holiday that I know in the just health, fitness, nutrition space can cause a lot of stress. And this is a holiday and just a season in general, Christmas coming up, just these 3 months of the year that are jam packed with social events and food. This is a season that used to cause me a lot of stress. And I know exactly, how you're feeling if that is you. And now, as somebody who loves this time of year so much and just it really causes me zero stress. I want to kind of help give you some mindset reframes and also just actual tangible tips and tricks to approach the holiday to help you feel that way too and really, really enjoy the holiday. Because again, as somebody who has spent so many of these holidays, not even getting to be like present with family and my mind being somewhere else because all I'm thinking about is like, have I eaten too much? Should I get more? But I want more. Like, I want you to be able to be so present and just enjoy the holidays. So, this episode is going to just I think, yeah, again, be a lot of mindset reframes and tips and tricks to handle this. And if you're listening to this or seeing this episode after Thanksgiving, but maybe before Christmas of 2025, obviously can come around back to these for any years of the holidays. But definitely still listen to this because yes, it's angled around Thanksgiving. The title is around Thanksgiving, but all of this is applicable to just this entire season of the year. And big Christmas dinners, holiday parties, like all of this will be applicable. Okay, so yeah, welcome back to a Fast Fit Facts episode edition 2, the Thanksgiving edition. And in Fast Fit Facts, I always like to take a topic and or something that's maybe misunderstood or something that I get a lot of questions about and just break it down as fast as possible with only the facts and allow you to walk away feeling just, okay, that made a lot of sense and just really helped me move forward in my fitness journey and with my relationship with food. So, my question today that I'm going to be breaking down is this idea of, does Thanksgiving make you fat? Does Thanksgiving make people fat? Do these big meals, does this time of year result in making people fat? And that's a dramatic way, right? It's like a very punchy headline, but more so, like, is the holidays the reason people gain weight? And the short answer is no, okay? Like, it's not these meals themselves, or yeah, these like even times of the year that just, hey, okay, there's a lot of food present and I'm just going to gain weight. Like, that's not what's happening here. It's honestly the fact that because we think it is, or we have these mindsets around if I have these big meals, or like it's bad for me, or that's all or nothing mindset, that we just kind of go into the nothing side of things and we just continue to have whatever we want, not care, like continue on that journey. That's what ends up making people gain weight, is the overall like all or nothing mindset. It is not these one meals at all. So I want to break down the science of that and what's really happening in these one meals, or even in these honestly couple meals where you're maybe having a Friendsgiving or you're having like holiday cookies, and how and why that's not actually causing the weight gain that you think it is. And really just understanding, again, that it's those guilt spirals that are the thing that are leading to overeating. And then I want to make sure you walk away from this episode knowing how to go into Thanksgiving feeling confident, knowing how to go into Christmas and other holiday meals feeling confident. And we're also going to touch a little bit on what to do when family is commenting on your plate, on your body, on your goals, because I know that that's a big thing that comes up around this time of year. You're obviously with a lot more family, and family can be tough, especially when they don't understand your health and fitness journey. So kind of talk through that. But let's start with the actual science, okay? The facts. I love the facts. And the facts around why a single meal here, even if it's the biggest meal, really is not going to make you gain weight. Okay? Fact number 1. A single day really can't make you gain even a pound of fat. The science. You need 3,500 calories above your maintenance to gain 1 pound of fat. A pound of fat is 3,500 calories, okay? And I'm talking above your, like, that's in addition to your maintenance calories. And most people, most women, let's even just break it down to women, ages 20 to 40, ages 20 to 50, they're maintaining their weight around, I don't know, obviously at age, weight, activity level, height, all of those things are going to play a factor. So this is a relatively big range, but still think about even the bottom end of this range, but probably maintaining their weight around 1,600 calories, all the way up to maybe like 3,000 calories for some people. But let's even pretend you have a very bottomed out metabolism and you're only maintaining your weight around like 1,500 calories. To gain a pound of fat, you need to eat 3,500 calories above that. Okay. That's 5,000 calories. And look, Thanksgiving food, not always the lightest, definitely dense, and we definitely probably overeat. But if you eat 5,000 calories, I would be really impressed. To be honest, I'd be, yeah, you deserve an award because that is impressive to eat that in one day and actually absorb it all. That's a whole nother thing too. We don't when we digest certain foods, especially proteins, things like turkey, like you're not really absorbing all of those calories. Like you burn some of those calories through digestion as well. So to actually like eat and absorb 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 calories, it's just not going to happen. And if you're wondering, okay, well then like how does anybody gain weight to begin with? Obviously over time, if you continue if you're over your calories 500, let's say 500 calories, and you do that 7 days in a row. Well, that's 3,500 calories. Was my math right there? Yeah, 7 times 500, 3,500. That's 3,500. So it's cumulative, right? Like if you were to do that every day, well, eventually you'll hit that 3,500 calories above your maintenance, but that's 1 pound over, you gain 1 pound over 7 days, not 1 pound in a day, right? So I think that that is a fact that I would just want you to take with you going into this meal to kind of calm you down. It's like you are just not going to eat that much. It's just not going to happen. And facts, like fun facts, most Thanksgiving meals clock in on average around 2,000 to 3,000 calories for the whole day. The whole day. So you are good, okay? Even if you go all in, you're still not likely to gain body fat. So with that, let's talk about fact number two. Well, why are you seeing the scale go up? Because I know you're probably thinking, well, I weighed myself the next morning and like it's up. So what is that? If it's not fat, what is it? It's not fat. Okay. It's so common to probably see the scale go up 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 pounds the next morning because a few things. First and foremost, you're literally just eating more food than you usually do. Like you're gonna eat more volume. You're probably gonna overeat. Like let's just call it what it is. I know I do every year. And so that food takes time to digest. And you're eating more than you usually would, so not the same amount is going to be digested in the morning than as it usually is. So you're still having some of that in your system, and that's going to show up as weight. Like there's food in your body. It's not going to be there permanently. It's still being digested, but it's showing up as weight on the scale. So that's the first thing. You also probably had more carbs. There's just more carb heavy dishes at Thanksgiving. We've got the rolls. I know we always do like this crescent roll is my favorite. We've got the sweet potato casserole. We've got the mashed potatoes. We've got the mac and cheese. We've got the pie. We've got the like lots of carbs. And carbs are not bad. They just retain when you consume them before they are like burned through and used as energy. They are stored as glycogen, and glycogen stores water with it. It has to store water with it. So not only are you storing the like extra grams of carbs that you had, but now you're pulling in 3 grams of water with each grams of those carbs. So that has weight, right? And it's just water retention. And I know we don't want that either, but that's not permanent. Like that'll go away in a matter of days. So that's just what's happening there. It's not permanent body fat. And then also, if you are eating your meals maybe a little bit later, or you're going back for seconds later in the evening, like you're just eating a little bit later, again, it's not digested yet. So it's still going to be there in the morning. Alcohol, if you're consuming that at all, that does lead to inflammation and shifts in water retention. And so that can lead to things going up on the scale. So all very, very normal. But these will all come back down within 24 to 72 hours when you just go back to normal. And when I say normal, I don't mean restricting because it went up. I just go back to your normal habits, your normal movement, your normal macros, and it will come down. And you know what? Why don't we just not weigh? Just don't weigh yourself the first like 2 to 3 days after Thanksgiving. Like we know it's going to be up because of all those things we just listed. It's not body fat. So just like why bother your brain by seeing it? All right, I need a little drink of my sparkling water. So that's fact number two of what's happening there. And then fact number three around what's truly ending up causing people, because if you're also listening to that and you're like, okay, well, past years, it never came back down. Like I permanently stayed at that weight. That wasn't because of what you did on Thanksgiving. It's because of the mindset that you went into because of Thanksgiving or because of Christmas. And you went into the rest of the year, the next 2 months, the next 3 months, the next whole year with a F it mentality because you felt discouraged. Okay. And I think that that is the cycle that's leading people to actually gain permanent weight, right? So we need to avoid that effort mindset. Okay. And so I want to go over a few tips and tricks to actually handle Thanksgiving like a pro who also gets to enjoy yummy food. All right. So, first tip, eat a high protein breakfast with complex carbs and fiber and healthy fat in the morning. Do not skip breakfast. Do not try to wait until your Thanksgiving meal, even if your meal is early at like noon or 1. Eat something in the morning, okay? If you're eating a little bit earlier, like your big meal, your big Thanksgiving meal, then your breakfast doesn't need to be huge, but don't try to starve yourself, especially if you're not used to going all morning without food. Do not wait, because what's going to happen is you're going to go into that meal a lot more ravenous and overeat more than you would have had you just ate something like good in the morning. And B, you're also going to probably consciously or subconsciously have this thought of, well, I didn't eat anything in the morning, so I actually need to like make up for I have so much room. And again, you overeat. Okay, so eat a high protein breakfast, but also include complex carbs because that's going to help blood sugar regulation, and include fiber because we might not get much of that in your Thanksgiving meal, and include healthy fats because that's going to keep you satiated until your meal. So some great options are going to be maybe having like a scramble of 1 to 2 eggs and egg whites for higher protein, having some veggies and having some fruit with that, scrambling some veggies in there, have some fruit on the side. Maybe a serving of oatmeal with protein powder and fruit and maybe a little bit of nut butter. That way you got some complex carbs, you got protein, you got obviously fiber, and you got some healthy fat. Just whatever you have, make sure it's anchored with protein, and that being the main thing, but still have some sort of carbs and fats just to, again, give you nutrients, give you energy, give you satiation. So that's tip number one. Tip number two, let's talk about an alcohol strategy. All right, easy. Like because I am not the coach that's going to tell you do not drink. I'm going to be enjoying a nice apple cider mimosa. And if you've never had those, you should. It's just apple cider, juice, champagne, or I like to do it with Prosecco. You can get a little crazy and add Fireball. We have definitely done that, and it is fun. And club soda, I believe. So good. Anyway, have your alcohol, but alternate with water. Between every drink, have a glass of water. I know you hear that all the time, but it really does make such a difference. Eat before, okay? Don't have your alcohol on an empty stomach. And this is personally something that has been such a game changer for me, is set a realistic goal. And when I'm talking about like goal and realistic, I mean I use the word goal instead of limit because I don't think the word limit helps anybody psychologically. But if you can set a goal of like, hey, my goal is to only have 3 drinks, then it kind of helps go in, and whether or not maybe you end up having 4, and that's fine. But I bet because you said 3, you're gonna you're gonna have less than had you not set any at all, and you end up feeling, or when I say realistic too, I think what'll often happen is people will say I'm gonna have none or I'm only gonna have one, and it's just not a realistic goal. Like you're probably, maybe you're somebody who like you typically have 3 or so, then set yourself a goal that is like, I'm trying to explain this well, but like allows you to have fun, but also kind of keeps a little bit of a balance. But if you set something that's too extreme and non-realistic for you, like 1 or 0, and then you end up having 2, you feel guilty about it. And we go into that all or nothing. So again, if like 3 is what is going to be realistic for you and keeps you from having 7, but it's still like a decent bit, cool. Set that realistic goal. So I hope that one made sense. That's tip number 2, though, the alcohol strategy. Tip number 3, when it comes to building your plate, add everything that you want the first time. All right. Don't try to, I just have found this to not work for me or many people, is the like, okay, let me not get this side. Let me not get let me only get the turkey. Let me only get the vegetable. Because then usually you finish that and you go back and you go ham on the other stuff. Just add everything that you want the first time in moderation. You can remember that you can always still go back. So put everything on your plate that you want, but don't put, the biggest scoop in the world. Like put a moderate serving of everything. And just remember, you can always go back. And then, big thing here when it comes to building your plate, if you are somebody who your family does like it's on a counter or it's like buffet style, um, and you can walk away from it, make your plate and walk away. Make your plate and go sit at the table, go sit somewhere else so that it's out of sight, out of mind. You only have your plate and you can focus on talking to people. You can focus on being with your family. You can focus on the conversation rather than like, I think when you're just hovering around the buffet table, or it's like you can't focus on anything else because you're just constantly like the food noise is crazy. So make your plate and walk away. And then I'm just gonna like, this is not by any means the end of the world, but like if you can try to eat your protein first, I think that can be super helpful because obviously it's the thing that's gonna probably provide us the most nutrients. So I would rather you eat that before you get too full. And it will also probably keep you from overeating the other things. But like by all means, have a freaking bite of the sweet potato casserole, have a bite of the mac and cheese. There's nothing wrong with that. So that's tip number 3 around how to build your plate. And then tip number 4, how to approach going for seconds, going for thirds. By all means, if you finish your plate and you are still hungry and you want stuff, go for seconds. But I would say try to give yourself like 5 to 10 minutes from when you finish before going back. to really check in with yourself and see, do I really still want this? Because oftentimes I think once you can kind of like put the plate away for a second, focus and enjoy the company that you're having, and you get distracted from the food noise by having a conversation or whatever, you kind of forget that you realize, oh, I wasn't hungry. I was just having like food noise. I was just like really wanting that dopamine hit again. And so give yourself some time to see, was it just that? Or am I genuinely still hungry and I genuinely still want it? And if you do, hell yeah, freaking go get it. So that's kind of my tip there. And then lastly, I want to talk about leftovers the next day because I get this question all the time. Like people feel like they can't have leftovers because they're trying to go right back to their macros, and how do they track them and how do they fit them in? Y'all, this is the only time of year you get some. I love Thanksgiving food. I think it's some of the best food. This is the only time of the year you oh my gosh, I just started so bad. You get it. Have the leftovers. I would say try to build a balanced meal with them. Okay. So, try to make sure you get the turkey, make sure you get like a vegetable, make sure you get a carb. Try to build a balanced meal. You can also even mix them into like healthier or lighter meals. So like maybe you make a sandwich with some of the leftovers rather than having a whole huge Thanksgiving plate the second time around. Or you mix some of the stuff in with like eggs in the morning, but have the leftovers. You can also freeze the leftovers too if you want to save some and have them at like different points. You can try to guesstimate tracking if you really want to get back to tracking, like have them and just guesstimate them. But it's just a couple of days, y'all. Going back to that first thing, like a couple days of being over, like you're gonna be fine. Okay. Um, so those are my, I think, biggest tips outside of just additional things. Like, don't freaking weigh yourself. Just like wait to weigh yourself 3 to 4 days after Thanksgiving so you can just let your body get back to normal. And you'll never even know that you bounced up. And guess what? The world didn't end because it really didn't matter. So that's my biggest thing. And then lastly, to just kind of chat about, I think, family commentary. I do want to say that I'm really lucky and I have not had this be a big issue in my personal life. And I do just really feel for anybody who does, because it really just doesn't make sense to me why a parent or a family member would be not supportive of their children. I think that the hardest ones for me to wrap my head around are the ones where they're commenting on the healthy choice. Like they're commenting on, oh, that's all you're gonna eat, or oh, how's your diet going, or oh, like she's not gonna have the pie because she's on a diet. It's like, I don't know, just the ones of where somebody's trying to make healthy choices for themselves and they're getting judged on that. That's what's crazy to me. Not that I think it's at all okay for somebody to comment on, like, are you sure you're going to eat that? Like, you need to lose some weight. Like, not at all. That's a horrible way to say it, but I guess I can semi see where a family member in that regard is coming from a place of concern and wanting, or they just have a really bad relationship with food themselves. And so they feel guilty about it. And like, that's, but I don't agree by any means, but I can see how it happens when again they don't have their own things that they haven't worked through, but the just not supporting actual healthy choices, and like the family member is the one that is unhealthy and like not, I don't know, it just blows my mind. But I think my biggest piece of advice here would be just stay in your own lane. Stay in your own lane and just remember that regardless of whichever side it's on, whether it's somebody who is commenting on you like they're not healthy themselves and maybe they're overweight and they're on a lot of like medications and whatnot, and they're commenting on you trying to change your life, they're insecure and they're projecting. Or if it's on the other side where they have a horrible relationship with food and you're over here actually eating a bunch and they make a comment of like, you're really gonna eat all that? Like, I can't believe you're eating all that. They also are insecure and projecting because they're jealous that you can sit there and eat all that and enjoy it without guilt. And they have not walked that walk yet. And either way, just regardless of whatever the situation is, it is 9 times out of 10, it is a projection of some own insecurity that they are having. And just remember that. And my biggest piece of advice would be just lead with love. Don't get defensive. You can say simple things like, yeah, I am actually eating all that because I love to fuel my body. Or yeah, I am actually all gonna like eat all that. Like, thank you for, asking. And obviously that's I guess semi sarcastic of like, thank you for asking, but just like very kind of quickly, just, yep, I am. And like nix it. And then outside of that, just like leading with love of being an example and just remembering that even if they're saying things that are maybe not the nicest, or like they're watching and they're noting like, dang, she's acting a way that like I wish I could act or I want to act. And the more that they see you do it, and whether you're far in your fitness journey or you're just beginning, and so maybe you have seen a lot of progress, maybe you haven't yet, but you're going to, just keep going because they're going to watch you become a better version of themselves and of yourself, and they're going to start to connect the dots of, well, she's acting this way and now she's this way and I want to be that way. And there's a good chance you're going to change something in their life too, but they just haven't seen that yet. So just remember that, stay in your own lane, lead with love, and do your own thing. It's my biggest piece of advice. So I hope this was helpful, y'all. And I hope you guys are having and going to have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. And this will be a great episode to come back to for Christmas as well. And I just want to also say I am so grateful for all of you guys for being listeners for the pod. I can't believe this is episode like, I don't know, what episode are we on here? 112 or something crazy. And I cannot believe that I have kept going, but it's really only because you guys listen and tell me how much you do love the pod, and it means the world. So if there's ever episodes that really resonate with you, if you want to just like DM me and tell me that you enjoyed them, if there's ever things you guys want to hear more of or learn, let me know. Anytime you like, share, review anything with the pod, it really does mean a lot. And I'm just really grateful for the community that we built. So I love you all. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. There will be no podcast unless there's a possibility I get a wind and change my mind. But I do typically record these episodes like a week before they go out. So next week it'll be the week after Thanksgiving, but I would typically record that episode during Thanksgiving week, and I will be home with my family, and I would like to just kind of try to take some time off. So there will likely be no podcast episode the week of the 1st, but we will be back strong on Thursday the 11th for to finish out the year strong. So again, love y'all. Have a great Thanksgiving, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.